What's going on, you guys? So before we get into today's episode, I want to give a special shout out to Dark Sport. Dark Sport is a bodybuilding premium fitness apparel company. I'm wearing their shirt right now, as a matter of fact. Premium. This is not for the weak-hearted. You could train in this. You could go out with this, take your girl out on a date, shopping. Premium quality clothing. Feel free to check them out on Instagram at Dark Sport. Their next drop is on March 27th. However, if you're watching this video after March 27th, go ahead and check them out on Instagram. They usually have a drop every month, if not more. And because we got Jeremy Potvin on the podcast today, feel free to use Potman10 at checkout to save some money on your order. But other than that, let's go ahead and get into this episode. Let's do this. Ladies and gentlemen, Jeremy Potvin, what's up, man?
What's going on, everybody? Just another day.
Yes, I like the tank top.
Yeah, can't ever go wrong with a little Dark Sport.
Awesome, man. So let's get right into it. So right now you are prepping for a show, is that correct?
That is currently, I guess, about 7.5 weeks out of Pittsburgh.
Wow. Has the prep brain like settled in yet?
Oh yeah. As I would say, the last two preps I've done, or the last prep I did was the 2020 Olympia, and that's kind of where I noticed my body was changing a little bit. So I was having to suffer a lot more to get ready for these shows. And, normally I'm eating pretty well up until like maybe a couple weeks out, or until I start my depletion phase. But like now, eating lower than that point. So feeling it.
I've been following you for probably about 4 or 5 years now. So I started following you when I think it was the Olympia prep where AJ was your coach.
Okay.
So I live in Orlando, so I've been following him for quite some time, and he shared, I think, one of your videos back then. So that's when I started following you. And ever since then, it seems like you're a big advocate for wanting to eat good while also trying to train and prep. So like I see your Chick-fil-A posts. I see like your Oreo posts. So it's like that's the main reason why I don't think I could ever compete, dude, because I just love food too much.
Yeah, it's a struggle. I used to be able to get away with bigger cheats, or when I used to have a high carb day. I mean, I would eat almost 2 pounds of froyo on a high carb day, and that'd be like my post work meal. And I couldn't even think of doing that now. So like everything's really clean. Everything's like by the book. So I enjoy
can just
it.
imagine like the 7.5 weeks out, it probably just gets more and more strict, right?
I mean, like I said, this go around, I mean, I'm really trying not to do any cheats or anything like that, unless like I absolutely need it. I think on my last high day, my coach told me to go ahead and get a double patty burger and fries. And honestly, I could have gone without it, but you're not going to say no to a burger and fries.
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that something that you'll eat like before going back to like finals on like Olympia night, like a burger and fries, or does it depend on the year?
It really depends, but usually a burger and fries is a pretty safe bet. Or I don't think I've actually ever done the fries. I've done a burger, I've done steak and baked potato, but never fries. So
yeah. So before I get too deep into bodybuilding and competing everything, I really want to go back to like your early life, man. So you're Filipino and American, right?
yep.
So were you born like here in the States, or were you born outside?
No, I was born here in the States. So my mother and father, I want to say they got married in 88 in the Philippines. And I was born in 89 in the States.
Dang,
My dad,
1 year later.
yeah. I got right to it. But yeah,
Yeah.
I was born up in Washington State.
Oh, okay. So your dad was in the military, you said?
Yep.
So you
Yep.
guys were probably like moving around a lot, probably in
Oh
early life,
yeah.
or not really?
Yeah. I mean, I was born in Washington. After that, moved to Japan. After that, moved back to Washington, moved to Texas, moved to Virginia. And then after high school, I joined the military. So I'm used to moving around.
So did you like start getting into fitness or working out when you joined? You joined the army, correct?
Yeah. I started working out seriously while I was deployed. That was when I started working out. It was just something that I had peaked an interest in right before I deployed. And then while I was deployed, that's when I started taking it seriously. And, it really just helped with dealing with all the crap overseas.
Right.
So
Yeah. So where were you at necessarily? Where were you stationed?
So are you talking about overseas?
Yeah, like overseas.
Yeah, I did a year in Iraq.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Damn, man. How was that? Because I have one of my good buddies. He actually, I think it was Operation Iraqi Freedom. So it was around like 2000, early 2000s. He actually
Mhm.
went twice. And coming back, man, he was just like almost like a different person because the things that he would see over there, like he would tell me stories where this sounds horrible, but they would do like target practice on like the dogs that would run around over there, like the dudes and stuff. And like they would have to like drive past certain areas really slow because of mines and stuff. So like, did you ever feel like any repercussions from that, like mentally coming back?
I think my thing coming back and something it took me a while to realize, but when I came back, my biggest issue was that I went through all that crap overseas that I felt like I guess kind of invincible in the States. And I kind of have that mentality like I'm not scared of too much. It's not necessarily a good thing because, like I said, you just never know what people are capable of. And somebody doing something stupid, I'll probably call it out. And not always a good thing, especially with my wife's with me. You know, I gotta think about being safer.
Yeah, man, you got definitely got to keep your head on a swivel. And I have kids, you don't have kids, so it just gets worse.
Yeah.
So like every public place that I walk into, I'm always thinking of the worst case scenario that could happen, which is I don't know. I feel like it like is a negative. I don't know if it's a negative thing or positive thing because you're always thinking like that. But I think it works out in the end because you're always prepared for like the worst. Like every time I go to a movie theater, so I have my concealed weapon here in
Yeah.
Florida, and I always sit in the furthest back row because I feel very vulnerable because anybody comes in at the bottom and just starts spraying. You know, at least I
Yeah.
can get down. So it's you definitely got to keep your head on a swivel, man. Especially when you have kids now. So it gets even worse as you get older.
I couldn't. I bet, man. I can't even
Yeah,
imagine.
man.
So.
Yeah. Do you plan on having kids one day?
Oh, absolutely. So my wife, she's getting ready to go into a nursing program at her school. She just has to finish her pre. But once she's finished with school, I mean, that's definitely something we're going to work towards. So I got a couple solid years of really pushing my body limits before I got to like chill a little bit.
Right, right. Awesome, man. Yeah, it's definitely a blessing.
Mm.
So whenever you came back from the army, or I guess when you finished up your enlistment, when did you actually start competing? I mean, you probably been working out and going to the gym for a certain amount of time before that, but when did you actually start putting on like size and trying to compete?
So I mean, I was just working out, the same way I'd always worked out. I guess you could say technically in Iraq when I started working out like a bodybuilder. Um, And then I want to say I got out of the military in 2012. And then 2013, I had found out about men's physique. And that's when I went and did my first show. I think I prepped for like 2 months or like month and a half and did my first show in 2013 and just kind of kept up with it.
Right. And remind me, 2013, when did Men's Physique actually start? Was that like early 2010s?
I want to say it was probably like around 2011 ish,
And that's like
2012.
the Sadiq days, right? When he was just
Yeah.
starting.
Yeah, because when I started, I mean, I was watching videos on Mark Anthony, Jason, Pete, Mike Anderson. Those are the guys that were winning shows. So even Jeremy Buendia and Johnny Sebastian, they were going for their pro cards at that time too. And I remember they really stuck out and resonated with me because they were shorter. So
Right. Dude, and when you compare like when Men's Physique first started to how they are now, like your guys' size, dude, you guys are so much bigger from back then. Like back then, Sadiq, I remember the first year, it looks like almost like a beach body, almost like summer shred type physique. But you
yeah,
guys, like, I met Brandon Hendrickson for the first time, probably in Orlando when Olympia first came to Orlando. I think it was 2020 or
yeah,
2021. Dude, you guys are so wide. Him and Raymond, oh my gosh, bro. You guys, to the average gym goer, you guys are the open class, really. So it's like,
yeah.
how do you feel about like when Men's Physique first started to how it is now?
I personally like it. I do understand what it was meant to be, but I also do like the progression of it because yes, a lot of people say like, oh, men's physique, they're just basically classic guys or even open guys in board shorts. Um, you know, people say that until you put a men's physique guy next to somebody like Bumstead, for example, or Jordan Peterson. I mean, there's a big difference there still. But you see these men's physique guys, and I do feel like you do need that separation from being an amateur to a pro. And I feel like that separation now is more pronounced than ever. So in a sort of sense, it encourages people to work a little bit harder, maybe. I don't know. But I like evolution. I like the look that they're rewarding now. I like the small tapered waist, broad shoulders. Um, it's to me, it keeps it exciting.
Right. And this upcoming show, you're competing men's physique, but are you still looking to potentially move to classic?
I mean, that would still, I'm still going to be pushing the leg training with the intention of eventually doing that. The more I work towards it though, and the more I see my physique when I'm posing, I don't know if it's right for classic. I'm just not sure. Like, I don't have the prettiest muscle insertions and things of that sort. So like, I really do have to learn how to tweak certain poses and do certain things. Like even in men's physique, I can't stand really straight on because my abs are all messed up. That's why I hit my little side twist shot. And same with posing, if I hit a front double bicep, there's a lot of imbalances, things I see that I don't like. But again, I am also my harshest critic. So,
Right, of course.
yeah, but I'll keep working towards it. And, I do think before I ever retire or anything like that, I'd still love to get up on and give classic a good run.
Right. But everything you just mentioned, those are things that you can improve on too, right? Or are you just stuck with those genetically?
Well, yeah, because like I said, muscle insertion, you can't really change that. Those are just things you're stuck with. So, like I said, I can't change where my abs line up. I can't change how my chest inserts. One of the things that really does bug me, it sounds really petty, but like this arm, I feel is a lot smaller than this arm, especially when I'm hitting a front double. And for some reason, I cannot get the same blood flow into this arm. So it's kind of, it's harder to build up, takes a lot more work. Like, I mean, people will see it. Like I'm standing there holding 2 dumbbells. You'll see this arm is just like veiny as hell. And this arm is like nothing. It's kind
Damn.
of,
Yeah.
but yeah, I'll still work towards it and still definitely get up on stage one day.
Yeah, and I saw you post a story a couple days ago in regards to like your back collecting fat. Like you said, like your chest is a certain amount of weeks out, but then your back is like a little bit longer.
Yeah. Yeah. It
So,
sucks.
so I could just imagine like transitioning to classic too, growing your legs and everything. That's probably something else that you'd have to work on too, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm happy with the progress I've made. But again, I definitely did underestimate it. I thought I'd be able to eat a lot more. Um, there was a point in time where I was like, maybe I'd be comfortable pushing a little bit more performance enhancement stuff. But now I'm kind of like at that point where I don't really want to do that.
Right.
uh,
Yeah.
but if I get my appetite back up and start pushing the food and training the way I need to train again, then absolutely. It's just pushing the hard part.
Yeah, it's tough, man, because nowadays you see like all of these bodybuilders. I don't know if you know Boston Lloyd or
Yeah.
came across him. Like, dude, he was my age, 29 years old, and he had kids. So like, when I see stuff like that, and then there's also a side of me trying to push it to the limit, like trying to get as big as possible, as shredded as possible. But when I hear stories like that, and then like Sean Roden and all of these other guys who are just like dying at early ages, it makes you really just want to take your health serious.
Yeah.
Um, and with that being said, you work with an HRT or TRT clinic, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So I work with Aspire
Aspire.
Rejuvenation. They're out
Okay.
in, I believe they're in South Florida.
Yeah, they're in Orlando actually. Aspire
Okay.
Rejuvenation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forget
Tomo.
forget his name, but he used to compete, the owner.
Tomo.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
Or at least he competed like once or twice.
Yeah. I don't know. I didn't know his history if he competed, but Tomo's an awesome guy. I got introduced
Yep.
to him through Seth. And I mean, like I said, I love what these clinics are doing because I mean it encourages people to really get on their stuff and pay attention to their health. And like I said, obviously if you're in need, based off of what your blood work says or what the doctor states, you know what you're putting in your body, and it's not like underground stuff.
Exactly. at least getting your blood work done just to see where your organs and kidneys
Mhm.
and all of that where they're at least. So yeah, man, going back to your upcoming show, is this a Olympia qualifier or
Yeah.
it
So,
is? Okay,
I mean, all pro shows essentially, since we're not doing a point system anymore, if you win a pro show, you're into the Olympia.
got
I
it.
think the points are top three in points now. It used to be top five. Um, but yeah, my whole thing is I won't try to compete at the Olympia unless I go in on a win. So yeah, Pittsburgh, try to win that. Hopefully, it's going to be. I know Chiron's doing it, and he won it last year, and fourth in the world right now. Uh, I'm going to do New York Pro 2 weeks after that, and I know Chiron's doing that one as well. But yeah, I'm just super excited about it.
Men's physique is super stacked.
Oh yeah,
So if you don't compete at the Olympia, what's your take on? Do you think Brandon gets another title or no?
I think so. It's an interesting thing with Brandon. To me, Brandon is probably the most complete men's physique guy out there. I like Brandon's physique. However, according to what the judges have always said they want men's physique to be, I think Aaron Banks kind of fits that mold a little bit better.
And he was
Um,
number 2 at this past Olympia, right?
yeah, he was number two, and that's not saying that I think Aaron will beat Brandon or vice versa. It's just kind of they have two very different looks, and um, it's just going to see what the judges like. Like I said, I personally like the Brandon's look a little bit more, but for what the judges have always said they like or looking for, I think Banks fits that.
Right. But he's a lot bigger. I would almost compare him not back per se, but like he's almost like the same height as Raymond, right?
Yeah, yeah, I would say they're around the same height, around like 6'3" or
Yeah.
so.
I feel like
Yeah.
I feel like they're way too big for men's physique, but I'm nobody. Like I literally, that's just my a personal opinion. But I just feel like Raymond could possibly go to classic. I mean, obviously if he grew his legs, but I don't know, man.
It's just the way I see it is I don't see him as big. I just see him as tall. you
Tall,
know,
yeah, yeah,
because I see a lot of these other guys who are smaller, like I said, like Chiron or Brandon or even myself. I, pound for pound probably have more muscle than these guys. But because they are so tall and they have such a presence a lot of people do tend to think of that way, that like they are really big guys. It's just they're tall and they have a bigger frame. So
And do you ever think, while we're on the topic of Olympia, do you think Buendia will ever return?
I hope so. I hope so. I think a lot of people are counting him out, and I think personally, I think if he came back, he's he'll come back better than he's been. It'd be awesome. I'd love to compete with him. I'd love to compete with Sadiq, because I mean those are the guys that I never got the chance to compete with Sadiq, and I'll be doing that at the New York Pro. So I'm very excited for that. It'd be awesome, to have like an Olympia with like Sadiq, Jeremy, myself, Andre, guys that were back there in like 2016, 2015, and whatnot. Uh,
Yeah, I don't like Andre. I think he's just a hater against Brandon. Him and what's the other guy? George
uh,
something. Who is it?
are you talking about George Brown?
Yeah, George Brown. Him and Andre just they've always been hating on Brandon, I feel like, but that's just my own personal opinion. But while we're on that, dark sport, man. So you with your following and your supporters and everything, I feel like any clothing company that you reach out to will pick you up in a heartbeat. So with that being said, you could be with anybody. So it's a lot deeper than just a clothing line. So why dark sport per se, and why do you choose to align yourself with them?
I like what they stand for. I like the mentality. I like the community they built. It's so unique in that anybody could put some clothing out there, but I think there is any other company out there that actually has like kind of a meaning or a feeling behind it. And that's what makes it so different. Is you see somebody else at the gym wearing dark sport, you kind of like, I don't know, you notice it. you
Oh
kind of
yeah,
vibe with it. So
yep.
yeah.
100%. I love it, man. So like 50% of my closet is dark sport. The other 50 is Young LA just because I love Giordani. Just love him. He's the
Yeah.
GOAT. But I'm realizing at least here in Orlando, a lot more people are wearing Young LA. So it's kind of like, I remember when Gymshark first came out, when you would see somebody with the Gymshark logo, it's like, oh, cool. It's like an underground, but now they're like super commercial. Now I almost feel like Young LA is catering a little bit more commercially. So now when I wear Dark Sport to the gym, it's more so like a connection with that person. You see them across
Yeah,
the gym, you see the Ohana or the Wolves or something. So Dark Sport is definitely a more like, I would say like a brotherhood almost.
absolutely.
But yeah, I definitely love both brands, man. So Dark Sport, Potman 10 at checkout. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Got you. Drop coming up March 27th, I believe.
Yep. March 27th, 6 Pacific Standard, 9 Eastern.
Yeah. Yep.
You got to pay
Awesome.
attention to the times. If you miss those times, you ain't getting it.
Dude, I think it was Brandon's like wave drop. I forget. I think it was a couple months ago. Or probably when the Olympia came. I was there like 3 minutes after and everything was sold out, man. Like my sizes and everything. Like the
Yeah.
premium oversized tees or the capped ones, they're always sold out in like the first 3 minutes. So I gotta set a reminder and everything all the time.
I think the only way that you can really get what you want is by doing, Michael's early access code. That's
Exactly.
the only way you can do it.
Yep. And sometimes I'll even buy, so they have another company, obviously, Civil Regime.
Yep.
So it's the same like cuts and everything, just different designs. So if I don't find what I want from the Wolves drop, I'll just go over there and get like a similar T-shirt. Just because I love like the what's the shit called where it's like tied on your neck. Forget the shirts that they
Uh,
have.
hey,
The
it's right
crew
here.
necks. Yeah, dude, I
Yeah.
love those ones, especially when they hang over. But lastly, man, let's talk about your Power app. So you have a new Potman. Is it Potman Power app?
Yeah. Yeah. So the Potvin Power app, essentially, it, so the thing with that, we're still working on trying to add more to it. Anything I wanted to be able to do is do things that are more interactive. So I wanted to be able to do longer videos, do more lives, but those features aren't available yet. That's still being worked on, but still uploading a workout every day. The workouts that I'm doing, they're getting uploaded on there. So if you're signing up for the Pop and Power app, you're literally doing the same thing I do in the gym every day. I still talk about my nutrition, um, tips and tricks for all that stuff. So it's just a little bit of everything. Um, the thing about apps though is everybody gets super impatient. And bodybuilding is not an impatient, I guess, pastime or
Yeah, yeah.
and whatever you want to
They
call
want
it.
it now.
Well, they get bored with workouts really quick, or a lot of people do. Whereas bodybuilding, it's a lot of progressive overload. It's a lot of doing the same things. It's a lot of the bread and butter type stuff. So it's not super exciting. The excitement lies within your efforts in the gym, really. So that's something that a lot of people do have to understand. And I'm realizing that, yes, I love having the app, but it may not be the best for the bodybuilding community.
Got it. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of these top influencers, they do offer like a daily type workout where it's constantly changing. So it does
Yeah.
appeal to the masses in terms of like uh, just different workouts every day. Because like you said, people do get bored. But the people who are actually serious and really want to take the time to like track their working sets and weights and everything, and then progressively overloading, those are the ones that it's actually going to cater to, which is a lot smaller niche.
Yeah.
Um, Less in terms of like business sense, but I mean, it is what it is. At least you
Yeah.
have like a niche following.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So listen, good luck on your upcoming show. Do you have anything else going on that you possibly want to promote?
No, nothing at the moment. Just get ready for my show. Just trying to stay alive.
Yeah,
But yeah, that's about
yeah.
it, man.
Last question. What's the first thing you're gonna eat like after you're off this diet?
Honestly, probably Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A.
You know,
What do you order?
so I usually get 3 chicken sandwiches, no pickles, add American cheese, add bacon, and then some waffle fries and an Oreo milkshake with a Coke
Nice.
Zero.
Just so you
Yeah,
know, right after this, I'm gonna go to Chick-fil-A and order that exact meal.
there it
I'm gonna take a
is.
photo. I'm gonna tag you in it.
I'll be a little envious. I get to eat a little bit tomorrow. No bad food. I get to eat a little bit tomorrow. So
Definitely. Well, listen, man, I know you're busy, so thank you so much for making time for this. Good luck against on your show. Hopefully, we see you at the Olympia this year. But other
Yeah.
than that, follow Jeremy on Instagram at Jeremy_Potvin.
Jerry Potvin _
Perfect. I'll pop it up here. Again, thanks a lot, man. Appreciate your time. And Jeremy Potvin, ladies and gentlemen.
All right. Take care. Thank you for having me.